Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome back to a fresh new episode of Knock of the Perch, a Manchester United podcast. Big week as any for United. We're fresh from a scintillating draw against Liverpool, a 2-2 roller coaster of a game, one of the best games of Premier League which I've seen this season, by the way. And we are up. Next challenge is Arsenal FA Cup challenge. So we'll be talking about the Liverpool game. We'll be talking about the Arsenal game. We'll also touch upon how the transfer rumors are shaping up for the January window. How have you been, Aruch? What did you make of the Liverpool game?
Oh, I'm doing well, and as you said, that Liverpool game has been as good as any. We haven't seen some of these games. United play some of these games that well, so I think it definitely has been a refresher, especially after that Newcastle game. I think the Newcastle game was as low energy as any from this Manchester United team, and the game against Liverpool was entirely the opposite. At least the start of that game, we started that game with a lot of fight. I think it was early in the game then when there was a double tackle in 1 minute by Maguire and then Delict, I think, which was some
Hmm.
cracking tackles. I think we were really ensuring that Liverpool are not able to build their play, which they are known for, which they like to do. So I loved that game. I loved that game. Even though in between it felt, we might go through that trajectory of having taken a lead, then conceded two, and we in 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 a world probably 6 months back we would have totally sort of been
Yeah.
blown apart and gone to lose at 3-1, 4-1 or something like that. But I'm glad that we were able to come back and make it a 2-2 draw. What did you make of it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is a long overdue performance at Anfield, right? I mean, we haven't had a victory there. We haven't scored a goal there since 2018. Last person to score there before this game was
There was a
Jesse
stat
Lingard.
that last time we scored at Anfield, Kobe Manu was 13 years old. So
Yeah, 12 or 13 years old, right? So yeah, I mean, it had been 9 hours since we last scored at Anfield. I mean, that was a state of things, and yeah, but credit to the boys, they were reluctant to lose this game, and we saw the fight, we saw the dog in them,
yeah,
and right from the seeing the lineup, I knew we are onto something. And to be honest, the whole build-up of the game was very negative for United,
yeah,
wasn't it? Everyone expected us to lose. Everyone expected us to lose big. And
yeah,
I always say that, you never write United off. I always say that, in these games, form goes out the window. In fact, you'd know that I didn't have Salah on my captaincy
yeah,
for FPL this weekend, and everyone else had Salah this
yeah,
weekend. I knew he'd somehow find a goal, which he did.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we saw a performance which is a good foundation for the team to get into. So,
yeah.
one game like this, it's an anomaly. Till the time we build onto
True,
games like this,
true.
that
Let's
till then
talk
we
a
cannot
little
say
bit
we are
about
stuck.
the starting 11 and how some of the initial minutes played out. Because my initial thought, looking at that back five, was, and I have not seen Mazraoui and Dallo really sort of get into that wing
Mm.
back role so uh, well enough to be able to justify the 3-4-2-1 system. Because
Mhm.
if you are constantly playing 3-4-1-2, you need your two on the wing back position to really get into that attacking mold, and so far that was missing, and which is where I think a lack of chances was coming, was the
Mhm.
major reason for. We remember when Ahmad
Mhm.
initially was playing that role, we were able to create those chances. Anthony, in
Mhm.
fact, was creating chances when he was given a chance at that position. So my major uh, problem with this entire Garnacho Rashford saga is now we don't have a number 10 alternative with Mount also injured. So Ahmad has to play in that number 10 with Bruno. And that leaves only Mazarawi and Dallo as the options. But this game that changed. This game, I don't know. Amorim got the team for practice sessions, the entire team. He got them for 3 or 4 sessions. Maybe that changed. I don't know what it is. But some of those runs from Dallo, especially on the left, were really nice. That there was a cross that came through some of those passes to Hoyland. That was really good. What did you make of that?
Oh yeah, the game was a bit lopsided towards the Trent Alexander-Arnold end, but I think Mazaroy also had a equally. To be honest, all the 11 players were equally good in this game. And this was after a very long time. I can say that all the players who were part of the game played well, but
Hoyland
specifically
also, I
about
thought
wing
Hoyland
backs.
was a little bit of a disappointment.
For the one big chance which Hoyland got, I think it came too early for him and he didn't just make up his mind. I could see that on his face. Whenever Hoyland has a chance in that position, you can just bet on him to finish that chance. He either
Which I
dink it, he has a
usually
close
feel,
range.
and when this came through, I thought this would be a chance. That chance on the
Yeah.
left, which pretty much Lisandro Martinez, Licha was had a
Mhm.
similar angle, similar position, maybe a little forward. So I thought
Mm.
maybe Hoyland will at least hit the target, if not, if nothing else.
He did hit the target, but
Yeah,
he hit the keeper with it. I mean,
I
he
mean it
had three
was
ways to
too
go
weak
about it.
a shot to be able to amount
Yeah,
to
yeah,
any decent chance, but.
yeah.
But I think Hoyland was one somebody who didn't really have a good game, and I
Mm.
think our forwards. We'll talk about Zirkzee towards the end. That confidence, I think, is
Mm.
a major challenge. But yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely.
go on, go on.
But yeah, I mean the fullbacks played a good game, and what allowed the fullbacks to play a good game was the cover up by whoever was in the midfield. So I saw our defense covered up the gaps whenever Dalo bombarded forward, or our midfield would step in that left back, right back role. So
Yeah.
that was something which was missing from this system for now. And this was a game model on which a wing back and a left wing back how they ideally should play. This is how they ideally should play. And I heard Arne Slot and I heard Carragher's description of this game, and they were right in the fact that we didn't try and build from the back a lot like we usually do in this game because
Hmm.
we know that Liverpool
I
press
think that
highly
is
and
to.
press
I
very
think
well.
that is a little bit of a respect to the opposition also. There, you can't
As
necessarily do.
as it should be, as
Yeah,
it should be. Liverpool are experts in pressing, and
yeah.
I'm glad we didn't give them that chance. Also, a couple of times I did see Salah pressing, but even Salah didn't have the best of his
Yeah.
games.
One more thing
So
I
yeah,
go on,
hmm.
go on.
So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was not the best performance by Liverpool, but that we definitely raised our performance a couple of notches higher than
Correct.
what we have seen.
Correct.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to talk about is this overlapping center back role, which we are starting to see emerge a little bit now. And I think maybe what Amarim is saying, that now players are starting to realize, okay, what the other player is going to do, so I should be doing that. So what I had been noticing in some of the previous games, that one thing that Licha Martinez was uh, trying to do is progressing the ball all by himself into the midfield if he was not being pressed, or having those passes with Dalo and then entering into the midfield a little bit. So he was doing, and then he would try to find the pass directly to Hoyland, bypassing
Mm-hmm.
everybody else. So I saw attempts of doing that a lot of times, even if it was not a grounded pass. Sometimes he would try it with a
Yeah.
lob, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that I was seeing, and I was gradually starting to think that it is a tactic. It can't be just, he's trying to fast Hoyland pass find Hoyland so much. So it has to be a tactic, and I was realizing that the whoever is on the right side of the center back, the main center back, or the left side of the center back, they have the freedom to just build overlaps with the midfield a little bit,
Mm, mm,
and
mm,
which is
mm,
what got us the first goal. Which
mm,
is what
mm.
he okay, it was not just an overlap, it was also the fact that he was man marking Salah very strongly.
Yeah.
It was an
Mm,
attempted pass to Salah which he intercepted and
yeah.
then carried
Yeah.
on from there, and then he was at the right spot at the right time. But that finish was
Mm,
top notch. I mean, you mentioned when we were
definitely.
chatting about it during the game that Hoyland take notes from it. Truly, I
Mm.
think although Hoyland is a decent finisher on his own, but that finish was as crisp as they come.
The fact that we found Licha in that position was somewhat, and the fact that Bruno found that pass in between like three of Liverpool players was cracking. I thought that was a brilliant assist as well. I don't know if there was a deflection on his pass or not,
No, it
but
was
I thought
given
that
as
was
an
a
assist.
brilliant.
It was given as an
It was
assist.
it was a brilliant assist as any. And Bruno, he had the like I think it was Bruno's best game this year as good a game as in he was
Uh, a
creating chances
a
on
break
the.
of a week can do. I think Bruno was pretty much on his last breaths till that last game
Oh
when he
yeah, yeah,
got the red
definitely.
card. I think he got a, I wouldn't say a well-deserved break, but at least he got a break in uh, with all
Uh,
these games coming so quickly. But I think that made a difference maybe, and hopefully we have had another full week of rest. So hopefully we
definitely.
see that against Arsenal as well.
So yeah, I mean, with Bruno, I think Ugarte and Menu were really good stalwarts in the midfield. Ugarte specifically was very cracking throughout the game. He has such a good engine. You know
Yeah.
who he reminds me of? He reminds me very well of Jason Park. Lung Park, we
Uh,
used to call him, and
yeah.
and he'd not lose his man. He'd run like crazy throughout the like that. I literally remember games in which all the team was huffing and puffing, and
Yeah.
Jason Park would just be on his toes for
Correct.
every ball in the midfield. He'd fight for every ball, and I see that fight in Ugarte,
And that
and that
not
is
just
what
that
we get
fight, right?
from.
You mentioned the
Mm,
fact that he keeps running. I think it was in the whatever that last chance, this
mm,
much talked about last chance which fell to Harry Maguire.
mm.
It was Ugarte who intercepted. Otherwise, it
Yeah,
could have been a chance at the other end, and he
yeah, yeah,
decided to not make a safe pass. That about
yeah,
the mentality is what I really liked. He could have simply made a
yeah,
safe pass to Onana
yeah.
to just run down the clock, but and that was pretty acrobatic one. It could have gotten wrong as well, but he found Bruno, and then Bruno found Zirkzee. And yeah, I mean, everybody is talking about the fact that whether he made the right decision to take a shot or not take a shot and pass it to Maguire. I think it was a fair decision to pass it to Maguire, just the quality of the pass could have been better. But yeah, speaks a lot
Agree.
about the confidence of our forwards.
Oh yeah, I mean, the fact that we were able to fashion that chance in the 92nd minute, and the fact that there was disappointment in the United camp about taking a
Yeah.
draw from Anfield speaks volumes. And I think Bruno talked about it. If we can play every game, like if we can play every game
Even
like this,
Amarim
why
talked
we're gonna
about it. Both of them mentioned that
even
they were
Amorim.
disappointed by the fact that we have not been playing like this in the previous games.
Yeah, but the winner, I mean, had to fall to Ahmad. He was
Equalizer.
cracking. Yeah, yeah. See, it feels like a
Yeah.
moral victory more than a draw,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, Ahmad, even though not really present throughout the game, he took the chance. I mean, the substitutions were working great.
Yeah.
Garnacho, who I felt should have started the game, he didn't start the game, but
Yeah.
uh, that didn't deter him from giving a good performance as soon as he came in. As soon as he came in, I knew he'd make something
Yeah.
work on his end, and whenever the ball goes to him, there is a certain uncertainty, if, even the Liverpool players were backtracking when
Yeah.
Garnacho had the ball, and he gave a cracking assist. I thought that was a brilliant assist to Ahmad.
Correct. I think on that one there was a deflection, but it doesn't take away from the work Garnacho did there.
Mm, mm,
Just one
definitely.
small thing, and it's not footballing, so to say, with Garnacho, but Amarim had spoken about the fact that keep a eye on everything they do, the dress, the how they dress up, what is their haircut, etc. And now suddenly that all that blonde and all is gone from Garnacho. Do you
I
think?
didn't notice that. Is that so? Mm,
Yeah, he I think his black hair are back. That is what I saw in that game. Uh,
mm.
I don't know if the Amorim has something to do with it or not, but uh, hopefully,
I think it's just up to Garnacho to just put his head down and concentrate on performances
yeah.
rather than anything else. I really hope he gets some starts, to be honest. I think he's pushing for a start. But
I
talking
think
about Ahmad,
yeah, go on.
I mean, do you know that Ahmad is the only third player? Okay, this is a question to you. Ahmad is the third player for Manchester United who has scored against both Liverpool and City in the same Premier League season at their grounds.
Okay,
Can you tell
only
me
the
who
third
are the
United player or third player in the Premier League?
third United player? So
Okay,
can you name the other two? I will give you a hint. Both are forward position strikers, and both are some of the players you have liked and seen in your times
Rooney,
at United. That is correct. Rooney in 2005, 2006 season, I think. And who's the
2005,
second one?
6. And who was the
Who's
other
the
one?
other one?
Other one.
Yeah, just
Can
yeah,
you tell me the season?
forward
Give me a hint. Tell me the season.
2012, 2013 season.
2012, 2013. Van Persie.
Yeah, it is Van Persie. He scored
Huh.
at Anfield and at Etihad in that season. So these were
Ahmad is in good company. Ahmad is in good
good
company.
company, right?
Yeah,
With Rooney and Van Persie to have scored on both big grounds. I mean, he is turning out to be a big game player, which
yeah.
was finally rewarded with a new. I'm pretty sure, like it wasn't just this performance, but yeah, he was
True.
awarded with a new contract till
Yeah, I
2030.
just hope he continues to build on to this. It we have seen some of the United players get big contracts and there's a bit of a drop off. Hopefully, we don't see that with Ahmad.
True, true. I mean,
Just
we
one
did
last thing
see.
on the Liverpool game. Delict, what did you make of Delict in the right centre back positions? Because in some shape or form, he was culpable for both the goals that came through. I think the first one when Gakpo did that uh, dummy on him probably should have stayed on his feet instead of dedicating with himself with that tackle. And then obviously I don't blame him too much, but maybe should have kept his hands away for the penalty that was given. And a follow up on that question I will sort of put together is does he better play at the center of the three center backs, in the middle of the three center backs? Because I felt at the right side he was facing certain challenges with the speed, etc.
I think the challenges he'll face at both the centre back positions would be quite similar. Players will bombard either from that side or just a bit from the other number 10 position.
Yeah, I
But
just
what
feel,
was funny to me,
yeah.
what was funny to me was Delit had an interview just before the Liverpool game and was asked about the Dutch players in the Liverpool contingent. Okay, so he did say that, oh yeah, I mean, you know their game, you know their weaknesses, and the fact that Cody Gakpo did number on him was very funny to me because he should have known. Cody
Yeah,
Gakpo has that in his locker,
yeah.
but he didn't. He's
Maybe
still sliding.
Gakpo
Some
knew
people
that
say.
Delict commits to a tackle very easily. Maybe
It,
Gakpo
it
knows
was a
his.
two-way street, right?
Yeah,
So it was very funny to me that he said that in the interview, and this got done by Gakpo. But that being said, I think it was a not the best performance from Dele. But that being said, there is a player in him, and from what you get from Delete is not just what you see as a player, right? He does dictate where positioning of other players as
yeah,
well. He
yeah,
does say he can find a pass in the midfield, and he's a threat aerially as well. I feel because he
yeah,
scored a couple of goals from air, and he defense like his in defense also in set pieces is decent.
yeah.
So all that is what you get from Delete, and a player can have an off game. We saw Trent have a bad game,
With all the Real Madrid rumors.
yeah, so that's completely all right.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think Trent plays like this. I think he's brilliant going forward, but defensively he can always be found out. So I wasn't too surprised by that, to be honest. But yeah, all in all, a good game for United. 2-2. Let's hope we are able to build on from here.